Sophie is with us today so she can show us how we can add flavor to our salts. And I love it when I'm cooking because I always use a finishing salt on everything I do. Just a little tiny bit just wakes up the flavor of any dish.
Absolutely.
Soups, tomatoes will be coming into season soon. So this is great. So what did you bring? Because I know there's some salts we should avoid and there are some good salts.
You know, it's interesting what you said about just adding that little punch of flavor to after we've cooked, because I think there's a massive misconception about salt being unhealthy. And you can take this with a grain of salt.
I like that. I like that. Take
what I'm about to say, but you know, typically our sodium overload comes from processed and convenience foods. And so, but if you are adding a healthy sea salt to your food, then it's okay.
All right, so let's start with our kosher sea salt.
Yeah, so I brought along 3 what I consider to be really healthy salts.
Okay.
These are sea salts. They are minimally processed, so they contain all their lovely trace minerals. They tend to be, they're typically larger in crystal size, so a little goes a long way, as you know.
The table is much bigger.
Exactly, exactly. And so I know you cook with this all the time.
All the time.
Kosher sea salt, larger crystals. I have here a French grey sea salt, which comes from ponds in France. That's where it's harvested from.
And this is great when you're chicken and fish,
and
it's a salt, and even for a finishing salt, this is
exactly.
great.
And then I have here Himalayan sea salt. And this is actually a Himalayan salt lamp.
I know, I was licking it before.
You were licking it. I know.
Like a salt lamp. It's so good.
It's so good. But actually, what's interesting is that these salts come from the 2nd largest salt mine in the world, the Himalayan, in Pakistan. And so they're very, very ancient salts.
Now, should we avoid this kind of a salt?
Well, this is a table salt, typically is iodized table salt. And this is the most heavily processed of all the salts. So I think it's the unhealthiest.
Okay.
It sort of disappears into dishes. It doesn't have the trace minerals in it.
Right.
So that would be, these would be my healthy picks over this.
All right, now you have some unusual salts here. I'm most anxious to share this with everyone because they're really quite unusual and really delicious. So let's start with this gray salt.
Well, I've made these salts because you can buy them and they're very expensive. So I thought, well, hang on a minute, we can easily make these at home. So I have made a mushroom porcini salt, I made a Moroccan spicy salt, and then I went on to my sweet ones. I made a matcha vanilla salt, which is green tea.
This is delicious. What would you put this on?
That I would put on desserts, ice creams, things like that, and then a rose chocolate. But today, and at home, I'm going to show you how to make the chili lemon salt.
Oh, a chili lemon salt.
Chili lemon.
Okay.
And this one is really wonderful.
Smells wonderful.
Doesn't it smell wonderful? It's sort of spicy. It gives a punch to fish dishes. So, you know,
lovely.
Alex would like that, and your grilled veggies and whatnot. So, how to make it? Okay. What we're going to do is we are going to first dry the lemon. So you're going to zest your lemon, and you need to zest quite a few lemons because it really condenses down, it shrinks.
All right.
Now, here's the thing. When you have zested your lemon, you need to dry it. Now, if you don't have a dehydrator at home, what I suggest you do is after you've been cooking, turn off the oven, pop this in and leave it for a few hours or overnight, and then you will have beautiful dehydrated lemon zest.
Let me ask you, how many lemons are these?
This was about 5 lemons.
5 lemons? Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
And so simply to make this beautiful salt, all I'm going to do is I'm going to put in my dried lemon zest.
I love that you're making this, Sophie, because when you buy these at the market, they're really quite expensive.
They are.
Salt. They're like $17
for the
like a little thing this big.
That's
you know,
right.
And I love that we can make it our own.
At home.
Yes.
I put in my salt, I put in my lemon, I'm putting in some chili flakes.
Wow, that's a lot of chili flakes.
Well, you really want to give it that punch.
Yeah.
And then I'm putting in some smoked paprika because that really gives it that lovely punch. Now, I put it in a food processor. This is kosher sea salt that I'm using here. And Christina, I'm going to pulse it.
Okay.
Because I don't want to over-process it.
Right, you want to keep the nice little...
Yeah,
because you want it to be fine grain.
I want it...
Table big.
Yeah, we want to keep the grains nice and coarse. But you want to do it enough that the chili flakes will break up.
Right.
And then you're going to... See, the colour's so pretty, and you're going to end up with something like this.
Look at this. Can we see this? Yeah. now I noticed that you said that you put some of these on desserts, right?
I do, Christina. This is some homemade raw fudge that I made at home. I'm going to dip it, excuse my fingers, in the matcha green tea. Like so.
Look how
Come in
pretty
nice
that
and
is.
close to that.
Look how
and
beautiful
then
that is.
I'm going to get you to taste it.
Oh, I would love to. You made this homemade fudge, so I'm
Yes,
sure it's very
your
healthy.
daughters would love this because it's
gorgeously
raw
green.
and gorgeously green and gluten-free.
Oh my, The salt and the sweetness of the fudge, it's just lovely.